Salvete omnes, and welcome in to another edition of Latin Review. In today's episode, we'll be going over Pensum A from chapter 11. Join me. Bene, welcome in. We went over the first paragraph in class today, but for those of you who couldn't make it, and for those of you that want to check again, I'll be going over briefly that first paragraph and then the second paragraph that we didn't have time to address in class. Membra blank humani sunt duo brachia et duo blank. Membra corporis humani sunt duo brachia et duo crura. And remember here that it's genitive, and that's because humani is genitive. We see that it's saying the members, the limbs of the human body are 2 arms and 2 legs. So crura is going to be the nominative plural, just like brachia. Et crus, cruris is a neuter. So hence crura. In corpore humano unum caput est, non duo capita. And here again, in corpore humano, in the sense of inside or on. So that's why it's ablative. We can also tell because of the O here, it's ablative. Corpus corporis is third declension neuter, so the ablative ending for that is corpore. Unum caput, because caput is neuter, so it needs the neuter second declension ending for the adjective, unus, una, unum. Unum caput, non duo capita. Capita is the neuter nominative plural for the third declension noun, caput, capitis. In capite, same thing as in corpore, sunt duae aures et unum os. Here, aures is a feminine third declension noun, so it's ace when it's plural. But os is a neuter third declension. So unum os, just like unum caput. Means mouth, right? In ore sunt dentes. Os oris. So when os is in the ablative, it's ore. In pectore unum cor et duo pulmones sunt. Unum cor, because cor is neuter, et duo pulmones, because pulmonis is masculine, third declension. Bene. Second paragraph. We'll go a little bit slower for this one. Medicus blank superlectum blank videt. Medicus videt is the main subject and the main verb. The doctor sees. What does the doctor see? Quintum superlectum iacere. So this is an indirect statement. If it were a direct statement, it would just be quintus superlectum iacet. But because it's indirect, that means someone is seeing or sensing this. The doctor sees quintum, so this is direct object, above or on top of the bed to be lying, iacere. Medicus puer rum dormire videt. Right? The same thing, we've just substituted puerum for quintum et dormire for iacere. Medicus quintus dormit. Right? This is a quote of what he's saying. Quintus dormit. Medicus quintum dormire dicit. Quintum dormire. Quintum dormire dicit. Dicit, just like videt, is part and parcel of a direct statement. The doctor says Quintus to be sleeping. just like he sees him to be sleeping. Medicus puerum linguam ostendere iubet. Here, the doctor orders, and this is one of those verbs that always goes with an infinitive. He orders the boy to stick out his tongue. So this is also an indirect statement. He orders the boy to stick out his tongue. Et linguam eius rubram esse dicit. Right? And he says his tongue, or the tongue of him, eius, genitive, to be read. Esse rubram. Puer dicit pedem et caput dolere. So pes, pedis, is third declension masculine. That's why it's pedem when it's in the accusative. And it needs to be in the accusative because it's another indirect statement, right? The boy says his foot and his head to be hurting. Medicus aemiliam poculum tenere iubet. So the main subject and main verb are medicus iubet, right? An indirect statement. The doctor orders aemiliam, he orders Aemilia, tenere poculum, to hold the cup. Sira quintum spirare non audit. Itaque sira eum, that is quintum, mortuum esse putat. So she thinks sira putat eum, that is quintum, esse mortuum. Esse is the infinitive of est, it means to be. She thinks him to be dead. Sed Quintus vivit. But Quintus is living. Mater filium, sorry, it's hard to read some of these small letters, I know. Filium vivere gaudet. This means the same thing as what? As if we said mater gaudet quia filius vivit. The mother rejoices. She takes joy in her son's living, in the fact that he is living. Necesse est puerum aegrum dormire. So you could have written that. You could have also written puero aegro, because you remember that necesse est goes with the dative. So we could say this in two different ways, and it would mean a similar thing. Now, if we just said necesse est puerum aegrum dormire, we would just be saying it is necessary. And what is necessary? The boy to be sleeping. The boy to be sleeping is necessary. But we could also say it is necessary for the boy to be sleeping. Subtle difference in sense, but both mean more or less the same. In the one case, it might not be necessary for the boy, but it must be the boy who's sleeping. The boy to be sleeping is necessary, perhaps for some other reason, perhaps so that the doctor can go home. But in the instance where we use the dative case, puero aegro, we're saying it is necessary for the boy to sleep, for his own well-being. So I hope that this has been helpful for you as you're reviewing your homework. And if you have any questions from the above exercise or want any help in figuring out why these are the correct endings, please come to me, tell me in class, and we can find a time to work through. Have a wonderful evening, and see you in class tomorrow.